Hello, welcome to section 2 of this course. In this section, we'll create a Maven project in the NetBeans IDE and we'll add all the dependencies we'll need to create a Lambda project on AWS. We use the Maven build system because it makes managing dependencies very simple. To start a new project, click on the File menu, choose New Project, then in the categories select Maven and then select Maven Application. Choose a name for a project. In this case, we'll call it Hello Lambda. Project location is up to you, of course. In this case, it will default to my project's location. And the group ID, you can put your own domain name or group ID in there. That will be the name of your Java package where we will eventually put our code. Click Finish, and we'll have a new project. In the new project, we'll see that in the source packages, a new package will be created with the name of the group that we provided and then the name of the project. In the project files section, we'll see two project-related files. POM file, which is the Maven project object model, and that contains all the information that Maven build system needs to build and run our project. In this POM file, we'll add all the dependencies or libraries our project needs in order to run as an AWS Lambda function. We will add two dependencies to the project. The first one is the AWS Lambda core. This is required for the project to run as an AWS function. And the second one is the Maven build assembly. And we'll need this because a jar package needs to contain all its dependencies inside it in order for it to run as an AWS Lambda function. The Maven build assembly allows us to build a fat jar, which is a jar that includes all the classes of all its dependencies. Finding Maven builds for dependencies is very simple. Just go to the website search.maven.org and we search for the dependency we need. Let's search for our two Maven dependencies right now. The first one was the AWS Lambda core. We can search in the Maven repository and we'll get search results. And we can see that it's from the Amazon AWS group. And here you will always see the latest version. So usually the latest version is what you want to use in your project. Click on the latest version, and then you'll see a lot of information about the project itself. But the most important information is the dependency information. And this little snippet you can copy into your clipboard, and that is what we will actually use inside our project. Now that we copied the little dependency snippet from Maven repository, we're going to add it to our project object model. So we open the POM file. Within the POM file, we have to add this in the dependency nodes. So we can note here dependencies. Then we can simply paste the one that we just copied, and we paste it here, and that will add this to our project. So now when we hit the save button, this dependency will be added, and here in the project you'll see a little yellow exclamation mark next to the project. That means that we have a dependency added, but we don't have the source code or the library for that dependency downloaded yet. It's easily resolved. We simply right click, and there's an item here called resolve project problems. Click on that, and then we can resolve this problem where some dependency artifacts are not in our local repository. We simply click on resolve, and as you can see here at the bottom, it's going to download all the necessary libraries from the Maven repository and add them to our project. You can see now the little exclamation mark is gone. We see that the dependency is added here, and that dependency might have some other dependencies that will also be downloaded now. So now in our application we have the dependency for the AWS Lambda core included. There's a second dependency that we required for our project, the Maven assembly plugin. We follow the same route to get that information. Copy that. And then in our dependencies, we simply add that as well, just as we did with the previous one. See a lot of dependencies being added here. That is what we want. Now, this is a dependency that affects how we will build the project. So in order for us to configure this one, we have to add a build section. And in the build section, we're going to have to use a plugin. And the plugin we'll use is the Maven assembly plugin. Now, I'm going to paste the code that we need in here. So now when we save this, we have a project with 2 dependencies and a build plugin. Building a project, simply right-click on the project in your project navigation section, and you just click clean and build. Here at the bottom, you'll see that now it's building the project. And in this case, it will create 2 different jar files. First one is already created, is the normal snapshot jar file. And then the second one is the jar with dependencies. If we have a look at our build location here, in the target directory of our project, 2 jars will be created. One is simply the jar with our project in it. It contains all the code that we have written. In this case, we haven't written any code yet, so it's a very small file which contains almost nothing. And then we have the jar with dependencies. And this is the jar file that we will eventually be deploying on AWS Lambda because it contains all of the dependencies. If we have a look at what's in there, all of the different dependencies are in there, along with our own code. In this case, we haven't written it yet. So all of the dependencies are there. We only have to upload one single file to the AWS Lambda environment. That concludes this section of the course. So far, we prepared our project with all of its dependencies. And in the next section, we'll write the actual code for our serverless Lambda.